Alright, so here's what we're going to do today. We're going to kind of do a vlog here of me cleaning up the internet solution here in this house, because if you are married or you live with a girlfriend or a fiance or a wife or whatever, then you'll know you can't get away with this mess for very long. Not to mention knowing what a cable management whore I am, I can't stand this anymore.
The Mastercase 5 and Mastercase 5 Pro from Cooler Master combines modularity with creativity, giving you the freedom to build it your way. Make it yours by clicking the link down in the description.
Alright, so one of the reasons why this is such a mess and why I haven't put any of this back together yet or neatened this up is because when we first moved in, we went with the Charter internet, which you guys know is the only real option for where I live. You saw the video where I put together all these ends. I didn't actually show the way this looked done, which is kind of sad, huh? You can see I've got all the rooms wired up and things are going, TVs and entertainment centers and consoles and PCs are all chugging away there. But anyway, this was the splitter that Charter used when they hooked up the coaxial. Now, we didn't like the Charter TV very much, so we went back to DirecTV, and they installed this thing. Well, as you can see, yeah, the installers, well, I asked them to kind of leave it alone because I wanted to put this panel together, but the installer for DirecTV simply cut all the coaxials off of the splitters here for Charter and left me with this thing here, which runs over to the modem. So I've got to neaten this up. I want to mount this down. I've got to figure out how I'm going to get power into here because this requires power. The internet box for the DirecTV requires power, and there is no power anywhere in this patch panel. So that's a little bit unfortunate. So this is the cover panel for it right here, and I'm thinking what I would probably end up doing is drilling a hole in the bottom and putting like a grommet on it that I can literally just push the, the feed, internet feed from the router to the switch and the power for it, because the only power plug down here is down there, as you can see, and it's not perfectly lined up with the patch panel. So it's not like I could push out or knock out one of these punch downs here. Or that's actually not a punch down. I can't punch out one of these holes and go straight down. If I could, then I would have considered tapping off of existing power, like if that was over here, and then just running on up to here and actually utilizing. Well, although that wouldn't have even worked, because as you can see, this is where it's designed for you to, why is there electrical tape in there? This is where it's designed for you to actually be able to put like a power block or something. But if you look carefully, there it's fine there, but then you can see right there where there's a stud. So because of where it's lined up, you wouldn't have even been able to do that. I mean, I'm sure you could have customized something, you could have had power right there, but alas, I cannot. So we've got to find a solution to that. And I want to clean this up. I mean, this is the real mess right there. I mean, if you move all that out of the way, you can see my switch, it looks pretty damn good in there. And then there's that. So because I know that the modem and the router are going to pretty much always be next to each other, because obviously the modem is feeding the router, and then the router has a single output going into the switch, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down to Lowe's, and I'm going to get myself like a small white piece of wood that would fit like right up right here. And then I'm going to mount these things with the power strip down to the board, and then with that I can have that all nice and wired up and neat, and then I can mount that to the wall, and then I'm just going to have the power that I need running into there for the things that require power. So I think I'm going to do it that way, because that's going to be easier than drilling a bunch of random holes up here to mount the things. And then I can actually then use geez, AX33, will you focus already? Holy hell. Here's your AX33 review, super slow focus. Anyway, then I'll be able to use or do cable management on it with all the wires by using, different straps and things to route it nice and neat how I want. Because quite honestly, if you look at this, this is pretty ugly. This is pretty bad. And every time I walk in here, even though the wife's half of the closet's over there, yeah, can you tell? Wife's closet, man's closet. Anyway, no, I got some stuff, but anyway, yeah, so I want it to look nice and orderly, because when I walk in here, you can kind of see it more from my side than anything else. All right, so here's the whiteboard I said I was going to get at Lowe's. It's nothing more than just like a shelf, like one of those shelves you normally get those little L brackets and then screw it to. So I'm gonna mount the router and the modem, as I said, to this thing here, and then this is going to pretty much get mounted up on the wall up there above the patch panel. That way everything can kind of be moved as a unit. And I also got, I said unit. Now some people might be asking themselves, well Jay, why don't you just hide the modem up inside that panel, because as you can see it fits in there. Well, one, there's a lot of cable mess here. I can't actually push the coaxial back up in there very well. I believe it to be mounted to a stud right there. The other thing is the switch doesn't really get hot. The switch doesn't really do much that generates any sort of heat. The modem does get warm, and as you guys saw, this is a closed off patch panel, and I don't want to have airflow issues in there, so that's why it's going to be mounted over here on the board also with the router. The other thing that's kind of interesting about the router is that the way it's designed for hanging, and as you can see with, you know, the little notch right there, is being face up with the logo facing the right way is not the way it hangs. It actually has to hang upside down like that. Now some folks might be asking why I put zip ties up here instead of the Velcro straps like I have here. Well, the way I look at it, one is I'm a lot less likely to mess with the coaxial at all than I am to mess with the stuff over here on the switch. So the Velcro makes it easy to undo it, get the cable I need, tighten it all back up, whereas this I just want sitting here being untouched. Now when it comes to the cable management here, I don't really need this splitter anymore. This is just a splitter that this comes in from the main feed from the street for the coaxial or the cable service. And then this used to go to the other rooms because of the fact that I had the actual cable TV service, but I'm not using that anymore. So I don't technically need that splitter. Now I can put a barrel connector on there and put those two together. Obviously I would have to do something to extend this cable because it's not long enough. And then this is the cable I have here. Now even if I mount this thing down to the back, I don't have a lot of slack left on this cable right here to make it out of the box and up into the router. But if you look here, the internet box for the DirecTV is way longer than it needed to be. It's coming all the way up and around and back on there. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch these two. I'm gonna take the longer cable and put it over here where the internet is, and I'm gonna put the shorter cable on the internet over here to the DirecTV box. Yay, hooray for light. It was dark in here, so I went and got one of my soft boxes and just pointing that up. Anyway, now you can see a little bit better. One thing I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this barrel connector and I'm going to hook it up to the internet feed and to the other cable. That way I don't have this splitter. As you can see, they even just cut all the coaxial rather than reusing the ends, because installers have to put their own ends on. It's part of the installation process that you do just to make sure that everything is kosher. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this crap out of here, put a barrel connector on it with the longer cable. One other thing that's important to do too is because that's all the slack there is on this cable and it's not labeled. So in the future, if I ever needed to change any of this up and I was like, I don't know what the heck this cable is, you want to mark it. Mark your cables. It's a big deal. All of these are mostly marked except for this one, which is the main feed. All right, well, with the exception of power, this is pretty much all wired up. I mean, I've now got to take the panel cover, drill the hole, put the grommet in it, like I said. Yeah, it's gonna look kind of ghetto with a hole in the panel, but it's the only thing I can do. There's no other way out of here. I'm not gonna drill a hole either underneath and do like a pass through like you would do with, say, like I did with the TV. I don't want to put holes in this wall. So that's what I'm gonna do next, and then we can run our power cables through there, and then we'll be pretty much done. There's not a whole lot to do. Just mount the stuff to the board over here, and then be done with it. Here's the grommet that I got for it. The grommet just needs to be big enough to allow the Ethernet cable to pass through, because all the low volt stuff in there is a tiny little cable. It's actually not that big of a deal. So if I need the hole to go bigger though, I've got a step bit here that goes all the way up to, what is this, 1.5 inches, I believe? 1 3/8 inches. So it can go pretty big if I needed to, but that's what I'm gonna use to make the hole for the grommet. And then of course I'm gonna do a pilot hole so that we don't get it like, scratching all the way across the thing. And it's actually the first time using my shop for anything right now, and it's for the patch panel. How ironic is that? I do need to build a computer though for the gaming rig
or the sim, the racing sim, because I did finally move that thing in the house. See, it's not right there anymore. All right, so I ended up getting a little crazy and making the hole a little bit too big for the grommet size that I have. As you can see there, it's just sort of moving around in there. But then I remembered that I had these extra grommets that come with the Case Labs cases. And so I can actually get this one in there. I can step it up, I think, one more size and get that in there. So whew, thank God for that. And it's much thicker. It's gonna be like beefcake O-ring or beefcake grommet. Look at that. Compared to the other one. Huh. Yeah. Like a glove. Look at that. Perfect. And it's bigger than the other hole was. So now I can fit possibly like even a power plug through there or something. Perfect. There we go. It's really dirty, but just sort of a test fit to see how well that works out. And there's the feed cable for the internet. Obviously I've got to do, you know, Ethernet through there and power cables and stuff. But man, that actually is looking a lot better than I thought it would. So I've got the wood piece up here, as you can see, mounted on the studs. And you might look at that and go, why is it off center like that? Well, it's actually centered on the closet overhead railing thing. So now what I'm gonna do is I've got to cable manage all of this up here so that it looks nice and neat. Yeah, I wish the board was a little bit longer so I had room to actually mount the power strip like right underneath it on the board. I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna do that yet. But I think this is all gonna turn out very, very neat. The wife is actually gone right now. I'm hoping to get this done before she comes home. That way she can come into the closet here and see that it's not just a big wired mess everywhere. But then again, that was the whole point of this video. In fact, I don't even know why I'm making a video on this. I guess you guys like the vlogs and things, but I just don't know. What is it about the vlogs that people like? Is it the fact that you feel it's much more off the cuff? It's kind of like you're there. It's more relatable because it's not all produced and, you know, super shot carded and B-rolled and stuff like that. It's just kind of like, hey, we're checking out Jay do some geeky techie things that you guys could probably do better than me. I don't know. You guys tell me down in the comments, what is it you like about the vlogs? I like vlogging. I mean, it's easy. I do like to do creative stuff and obviously B-roll content and things like that too. So maybe you guys like a big mixture of it. Tell me down in the comments. It really does help to tell us what it is you guys like to see and why. Tell us why you like to see it and why you don't want to see certain things. That's important too. A lot of people leave that out. They just go, this sucks, but they don't tell us why it sucks. All right, so here's where I'm at so far, and this really kind of sucks because there's no way to make that power cable clean. There's really not. So I guess it could look cleaner. I mean, obviously it's not done. It's have to deal with all those cables right there. Yeah. I mean, a shelf or something would have worked too, but at the same time, I wanted it wall mounted. And it really is going to be a lot better than it looked before. This is coiled up only because I don't have a shorter, like a 2-foot cable. I was gonna make one, but I'm running out of time to get this done before some other errands I've got to run today. But it's coming together. It really comes down to this damn power plug for the router. It's super long and just ugly and awkward. I might try and figure that out and make it look a little cleaner, but for now, as you can see, it's better than it was. So let me just go ahead and get this thing buttoned up. Well, I guess in hindsight, this looks pretty damn ghetto, but whatever. I vlogged it, and that's the way it turned out. The problem is all the power cords. The power cords are so freaking long, and then they all have these power bricks, and like the modem, the power brick is in the middle of the cord, and then just like the Netgear, you've got the thick PC, like power supply unit type of cable there. And then you've got again, that's in the middle, then you've got the cord, and neither one's long enough to reach all the way to the floor if I just wanted to run it that way. But it works. That's what really matters to me the most is it works. So it is what it is. Well, something else that's going to have to wait is doing the channel strip because I'm an idiot and didn't pay any attention and I bought a corner one. And clearly that's not a corner. Anyway, I'll have to go back and do that. But I guess if we compare this to the way it looked when I first started, even though it kind of looks like a jumbled wire or mess, it's better than it was with it all just kind of everywhere here and wires sticking out. All right, so that project is mostly done. I have to stop being so anal about it because it's in the closet. You're not really going to see it. It's all mounted to that board rather than holes all over the wall. I mean, there's just 4 holes in the wall holding the board up, and those can be easily patched and stuccoed and repainted. You know, if I have to take that thing down. The other thing is, like I said, it's in the closet. You're not really going to see it, which is a big deal. I guess, I mean, it's one of those things where I know it kind of looks bad, but whatever. Something else I'm working on here, as you can see, the upstairs like entertainment center thing is just some IKEA furniture we put together. But look, the racing sim is up here. I don't have the other monitors hooked up or anything to it yet, but this is going to be hooked up. And this upstairs loft area is going to kind of be just sort of probably made you all dizzy right there, didn't it? This upstairs loft area is going to be more like a game area, which is going to be kind of neat. Like I said, have a area to play around, have some console games up here. There's going to be a PC up here, movies. It's going to be pretty neat when it's all done. Anyway, guys, tell me what kind of stuff you want to see in the future. If you guys want to see more vlogs, maybe I'll kind of introduce a couple of these in the month, during the month. I don't do a lot of vlogs, so maybe it's kind of nice to be able to see what's happening behind the scenes. Again, like I said earlier, tell me why you like the vlogs if you like them, and it will help me out a lot in the future. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Tell me what a pile of crap that job I just did looks like. I won't even get mad because I'll agree with you. It doesn't look great, but it looks better than it did, and you can't argue with that. All right, Internet, time to go. See you in the next one.